Okay, thank you for coming. Coach Haynes today is joined by junior safety Jordan Italiano and sophomore tackle Reno Rita. Coach?
Again, coming off of a disappointing loss against Miami. I think the guys played hard. We just didn't make enough plays to sit there and get over the hump. We talked yesterday, and what makes it so frustrating is that we're losing winnable games, and against opponents that that we're in it and have a chance to win it. We just don't make enough plays to sit there and do it. So that's where the frustration part kind of comes into. But we are where we are. We got somewhat of a bye week this week, and get ready for, I believe, watching them on tape is, besides Ohio State, the toughest team that we'll face, up to this date, talent-wise. So it doesn't get any easier. We lick our wounds, and sun comes up, and we got to get back to work, get rolling.
You mentioned the frustration. You've lost 4 league games now. I know you were tied in the second half on one. I think you were down 7 or less in the other 3. So they're sitting right there for you, and you can't finish them.
Yeah, and that's the frustrating part, that you're in them. And it's not like you're sitting, like after the Ohio State game and feeling, super bad because you got blown out and just got outmatched and outmanned. You're right in them. We just got to sit there and, I talked to them yesterday just about playing at a high level. And we got to play at a higher level. And we got to play when you have opportunities to make plays, you have opportunities to get in scoring positions, we got to score, bottom line. And for us to want to win, and win on a consistent basis. So those are the things that we got to do a better job on. Everybody after this game will sit there and say, well, this side of the ball played better than that side of the ball and all that, whatever. But, the first drive of the game, we had 3 penalties that kept the drive alive defensively. And, you talk about every play counts, and you never know when those plays ended up being huge, for us. That those penalties end up being huge in a game that they went on, and that was the only score, in the game. And not to say that they wouldn't have scored, but they were punting the football, at the time to give ourselves, the ball back. So there's a lot of things we can get better at. I think Mike Tomlin said it best, there's a lot of positives in the games, but we're not looking for positives. We're looking for victories. That's the thing that we got to make sure that we come up with victories.
What kind of readjusted goals have you set for down the stretch?
You got 4 games left, and you got a team who has something that belongs to us. So that's what you're playing for each other. We asked them last week, what is your why? And what is your why and why you play the game? And the number one reason was for the love of the game. You got 4 more opportunities to play this game for this team to look like it's going to look in 2014, because after this it won't look the same. So you're playing for the guy from the right and the left, and you got a game, like I said, that's a rivalry game that you want to win.
Are you seeing at this point what you want to see in the maturation of your running game, offensive line and backs? I mean, it's all a tandem, I think.
Yeah, I think, of course, you want to get better. You want to be better, than what. But, really you had to start to reevaluate it from the start and moving guys in positions. We had to move Terrell to guard this past week because we lost Putoff, in practice. So that was another, adjustment that you had to make, during the week. But we have to be better. We have to be better. But, I look at Toledo right now, and across the board you got 5 seniors. And that's why they're running the football. So I look at the guy to the left of me right now, in a year or 2 years, he's going to be a lot bigger, stronger, and our run game will probably be better. And that's a process that's going to have to take some time. I said it at the beginning. We're a stronger football team than what we have. We're not strong enough, but we're stronger, and we have to continue to get stronger.
Saying that after the Miami game, though, seems kind of alarming to me. I mean, you're not talking about a juggernaut there, but kind of in the same side, their coach after the game before that was talking about how when they lost to Northern, they really couldn't match up athletically.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Yeah, I think they played at a high level on defense. I think they played, and I'm sure if you talk to Coach Martin today, listen to his press conference, they play a lot more aggressive and at a higher level, on defense than what they've shown. And I give them credit for it. But they wasn't the same defense that they were a week ago, 2 weeks ago against Northern.
They obviously came in wanting to pressure you.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Very
We're going to
successful.
get pressured for the rest of the year. I mean, that's what we have challenges on. I mean, you got a young offensive lineman. I mean, so people are going to pressure you. People are going to twist. People are going to do those things. So those are things we're going to get for the rest of the 4 games. So we gotta practice it. If they rush 4 straight, it should be a surprise, not the other way around.
Did they pressure more than teams had in the past?
They twisted more. They did a lot of twisting. They did a lot of more pressure than what they have done. And that's the thing. Teams are starting to move their front a little bit more than what they have done against us. Army was the same way. Army hardly ever blitzed, but they did, against us. So those are things we're going to continue to get just because you sit there and you struggle at it. So, I mean, that's the first thing. I sit there, I go through every game, and I write down what gave the teams trouble defensively, what other teams have done. I mean, it's what, teams are going to continually do. So we're going to get it. We just got to sit there and make sure that we can pick it up and get better at it.
Is there anybody that you this year tried to get ready as a short yardage back, a big guy that you could, Terhune or anybody?
No.
I just
No.
asked what.
No.
I didn't click the pin.
I mean, you got 2 or 3 guys on the roster that aren't playing for you, and Steve Nagy could have been that for us, and he's injured, so just where we are,
I know you had a lot of short yardage
Yeah.
situations where,
Yeah.
Reno, can you talk about that blitz and just, picking it up where it starts from, what you saw at Miami and what maybe you have to do differently?
We saw that blitz all year, and I mean all blitz. It's just about preparing for it, and we just got to continue to really prepare for these guys, and just keep preparing. Really, that's the number one thing. Keep practicing them, and we'll be able to pick it up.
you guys set any, position goals or whatever and say, hey, these last 4 games, let's get 100 yards. These last 4 games, let's not give up more than a sack a game. Do you do any of those kind of things collectively where you guys kind of find something to kind of find, or is that
We just
something that
we just go out every game, like preparing that we're gonna rush above 200 yards, preparing that we're not gonna give up any sacks, and the goal is just do your job. We talk about do your 111 every day. No, that's really the main thing. Just do your job, play for the guy next to you, and keep going.
Can you kind of see, I mean, you being one of the linemen, the young linemen that, is thrown into the fire here, can you see a development? I mean, it seems like to us, just statistically looking at things that, you take a couple steps forward and you kind of come back a little bit. But can you see things kind of happening? How tough is it to be in that situation when you're so young facing these other teams?
I mean, we started off young, but I can't say that we're young anymore. I mean, we're almost done with the season, so now we all have experience, and a lot of guys have played. Doesn't matter who's starting now. A lot of guys have playing time, so it's kind of I don't know, we just trusting each other really is a big thing. I mean, we do. We trust whoever's in there. I mean, Terrell Lagarde, we trusted him. Brock Atai, we trusted him. It doesn't really matter who's in.
Coach, talk about getting bigger. How much bigger do you want to get? I mean, where would you like? Where do you feel you could? Hey, I'd like to be here by the time I'm
You
out.
talking
here.
about, you asked me?
No,
Oh.
Rita.
I'd like to be 300 plus.
And you're where now?
I'm like 290 right now. Yeah, if I get to 300, that'd be nice. But good weight. I don't just put on that weight.
I mean, do you feel that personally when you're going up against these guys? Can you do you feel like they're a little bigger and stronger than you when you're in there actually?
Well, it's just technique, really. I mean, being bigger does help a lot, but get the technique right. I'll be fine if it's technique. And like all of us, we're going to get a lot stronger this off season. Even throughout the season, we're getting stronger. And it's just we'll be. How do I say this? We'll be a big physical team, and I think we can be now. And yeah, we'll just continue to work in the weight room, continue to get the technique right, and we'll be fine.
Defensively, there's a couple areas where you guys have usually been productive in the past, sacks in particular. Is that just one of those years where you just can't get in? Because you got a lot of the same guys that were there in the past. Obviously, you don't have Nicks or somebody to where everybody focuses in on, but you think there'd be more than what, 5? I think we got 5 sacks this year, maybe 6.
Yeah, but it's kind of a little bit on what we're playing and what we're doing. I mean, we're dropping 8 a lot. I mean, you only got 3 guys rushing, which, we're facing some teams that, besides really Northern, of being a physical team and really UMass got in a little bit of 12 personnel, but they were spread also too. We've played a lot of drop 8, situations with the passing teams that we've seen. So it was a little bit more of trying to stay in coverage instead of trying to rush 4 and doing those things and putting guys in situations that we didn't think that was best for them. So that's a little bit probably more on that of the scheme that we're trying to play a little bit more than pressuring. And then, I also look at offenses. Offenses know we're not going to take sacks, so they get rid of the ball a lot faster. I mean, they're going to sit there and the quarterbacks that we face have done a good job of, this guy threw it out of bounds a bunch, and it was close to sacks, but he threw it out of bounds, and got rid of the football, So I think they're getting the ball out quicker, and I think they're doing a good job of just throwing it away and playing the next down.
You sense that too, Jordan? I mean, guys maybe your defense is showing up better than what the statistics say in terms of pressuring the quarterback.
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. I think our D-line does a great job of putting pressure on the quarterback, making him throw the ball early or just get rid of it.
Just look at the records here. Obviously, you got a 4-0 against a 0-4, but score-wise, the big difference being they've had close games. Not like they're blowing people out; they're finding ways to win. You guys are the opposite. Is that kind of what you see there? As well?
Yeah, and they're a senior laden team, so they're battle tested, like crazy, and again, that's why the game is played, though. On paper, yeah, they're a better football team than what we are right now, but we'll prepare like crazy and put our best foot forward and go. But is it going to be easy? No. I mean, like I said, I watched them on tape, and I still haven't figured them out. And by now, at least I would have an idea of what I want to do defensively, and I haven't, yet, because I think they're good across the board. They're good at running the football. The quarterback's doing a good job of getting it to the receivers, and the receivers are good. That's why the team that they are, So I think it's going to be tough. I mean, it's going to be a tough football game for us, and we're going to have to play at a high level to win this football game.
you know, again, going back to the seniors you mentioned up front, I mean, they've been good for a long time. They lose a guy, they kind of plug it in seniors
Yeah.
and juniors. You guys, on the other hand, are plugging in freshmen.
Right, and that's a process. I mean, you've had 3 coaches in 4 years, so you're talking about recruiting. You're talking about recruiting classes. You're talking about a lot of those things. So it's consistency, and you know, we need to have consistency just around here, you know, period, in the program, so you can sit there and build continuity, and that's the thing that they have. They have continuity, and you know, in a couple years we'll have it too. But it's a process. It ain't overnight that it's gonna happen.
You kind of see yourselves, you know, you have this young line now. Okay, if you get through these guys develop in 2 years, and then they move on. By then, you're hoping to be at the point where you're filling those holes with upperclassmen.
There's no
What you
doubt.
had.
And again, these guys that are young are getting thrown in the fire, getting, you know, better and better. And you sit there and I see it. It's just, again, you're not seeing it with the wins, but you can sit there and see the talent level of them. And again, it does come down to the fundamental and technique. They'll continue to get better at the fundamental and technique. They will continue to get, you know, stronger. And I'm not really a size guy. I'm a strength guy. I don't care how big the guy is. I care how strong he is, you know. And I think all of our offensive linemen should be benching close to 400 pounds, you know. And until we get there, that's when you become a physical, you know, football team on the offense and defensive line. So, you know, I don't care how much they weigh. It just matters on how strong they are. And we'll get there, you know, to that point. And through your recruiting classes of consistency of recruiting classes where you're going to recruit 4 or 5 linemen a year, you'll gain the depth. So, you know, hopefully you're not playing freshmen and sophomores, you're playing juniors and seniors. And then when those guys leave, those guys are ready to roll in as juniors and seniors. That's what you would like. But at this point right now, we're playing, you know, all freshmen and sophomores is really what we got out there.
Yeah, I just look 9 of 10 on your offensive line, 2 deep will return.
Right.
Based on this.
Yeah. Terrell really is the only guy that you're going to lose. You know. So, and again, like you said, it's promising to sit there and look at so many young guys playing. We looked out there defensively one time, and you had Matt Summers, you had Singer, you had John Cunningham, you had Cuthbert. You got a lot of freshmen and sophomores playing. So,
7 of the 9 are freshmen and sophomores on the line.
yeah. So, you know, like you said, it's a process. You got to keep going. You got to stay the course. You got to not get, you know, so frustrated that you know, it's a long process, and it's going to take some time. You know.
Summers on the line, is that a fill-in right now? You want him back at linebacker, or is that someplace you think he'll stay?
We'll see how it goes, but I think Matt's only going to get bigger and stronger, and it's going to be hard for him to keep off weight and strength as we move forward. So I think he can be either or, kind of a need at first, but he's done such a good job at it that we've kept him there.
Nice middle linebacker at that time.
Yeah, if he can move, if you're playing thumper teams. Unfortunately, in this league, you don't play thumper teams. You play space teams, you know.
All the good ones are thumping.
Toledo is pretty good in their spread.
Jordan, is there anything you tell those younger guys as they continue to develop? There's just been so many young guys playing key roles on defense. Is there anything you got to kind of remind them of as they go through a challenging season here?
Pretty much just to keep fighting. I mean, keep preparing. Pretty much do everything like we're still winning, because I mean we still have 4 games left, and I mean what we want to win out these last 4 games. We need to still keep competing, and pretty much you don't have to tell them, but you want to make sure to remind them, like, not to quit, like, because we still have the wagon wheel, and we're still fighting for all the seniors because we want to send them out on a good note. So we just need to keep preparing and working and keep playing.
Just touch on Toledo defensively. Anybody in particular stand out there?
You know what? I haven't watched them yet defensively. I watched them in the afternoon tonight defensively. I kind of watched the offense in the morning, then watch, the defense at night. But just talking with, the offensive staff about them, I mean, they're very active, very physical. So like I said, we're going to have to play at a high level, to definitely beat these guys. So, and that's going to be the fun part.
Some of these freshmen, true freshmen that are on the 2 deep, the only one that hasn't played, I guess, is Hines, correct?
Yeah.
The kicker?
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably you're probably going to redshirt him?
We'll see. We'll see.
But I don't see anybody.
Yeah, all the rest of them has played downs.
Yeah, Hibbler played. Putoff has played. Millen. How's Hibbler? Is he somebody you want to see more of down the stretch, or?
I think he is where he is. I think he's a spell guy for Holly and Murray. He's still a young kid that's still learning a little bit. He doesn't have as good a hands as the other guys, do. So you're kind of limited a little bit when he's in there on what you can do, pass catching, so which we use our backs a lot, to release out and do those things. So kind of limited a little bit with what you want to do with him, but he's going to be a good solid back. He's just got to get better at his hands and protection a little bit and all those.
I don't see a new on here anymore. Is he falling that far behind, or?
Yeah, a little bit. We kind of hit the wall a little bit here a couple weeks ago with being a freshman and being a lot on his plate, with everything. So he's kind of fallen off a little. He still does a lot of special units for us, though.
Nick had 11 carries, well over 4 a carry. I mean, would you like to get him 20 carries a game? Is that something you look at, or no?
I just don't know if he's at, right now, if he's that style. Maybe in a year, I just don't know if his body will hold up, and he still has the foot injury. He's just a tough kid that's playing through it, but he's still injured, But I don't think I want to beat him up, that bad right now.
Same with Colin. I mean, how's that
Colin's
ankle?
the same way, But again, it's the same thing. Both of them have to do it just because of what the defense are giving you. You got to be able to run the quarterback a little bit with what they're doing to us, and what we've seen in the last couple of weeks. So you got to take what they give you, and you can't sit there and try to take that aspect away from us. That part of the game away from us.
Anything else? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hold on, I gotta ask you one question. The better teams in the league pound it,